for the wrong shape of arrival. You have been waiting for thunder, and the blessing is arriving as weather, slow weather, the kind that changes a landscape without making a noise. The shift in atmosphere you have been feeling for a few days, the strange softening, the small, inexplicable peace that arrived in the middle of a difficult afternoon, the unexpected kindness from a person who has no reason to be kind to you, the sentence in a song that landed differently than usual, the dream you cannot quite remember but woke up gentler from. These are not coincidences stacked next to each other. These are the early outline. The shape is filling in. You may have to teach yourself a different way of paying attention. The dramatic mode of attention, the one trained by stories that resolve in a single scene, will keep telling you that nothing is happening. The slower mode of attention, the one that notices the difference between two similar afternoons, between two versions of the same room on different days, between two breaths taken under similar pressure but with different inner weather. This is the mode that will recognize what is unfolding. Most people are not taught the slower mode. You are being taught it now. The teaching is a gift inside the gift. The capacity to recognize quiet movement is itself a blessing, separate from the specific blessing it is helping you recognize. There is a name for the season you are in, even though no one around you is calling it by name. It is the season of the verge. The verge is not the arrival, but it is also not the wait. The verge is the part where you can almost see the thing that is coming, the way you can see a city's lights from the road before you see the city itself. The verge is uncomfortable. It feels like waiting and like arrival at the same time, and your nervous system does not always know how to hold both. So you swing between hoping too much and hoping too little, between acting as if it has already happened and acting as if it never will. Let yourself swing. The verge is supposed to feel like that. You are not failing at faith because you cannot decide which version of yourself to be in this moment. Stop here a second. Do not read the next sentence yet. Let what has already been said find a place to land in you. Sometimes the words that matter are the ones you read past the first time because you are trying to get to the conclusion. There is no conclusion. There is only this, that you are loved, and that what is loved is being moved toward, and that the moving has been long, and that the moving is now nearly complete. The financial part of your worry is not invisible. The relationships you cannot fix from where you are sitting are not invisible. The body that has been tired for too long is not invisible. The decision you have been postponing because every option looks like a small loss is not invisible. The grief that arrived years ago and never finished is not invisible. The blessing that is gathering is large enough to touch each of these, not all at once, but in the right order, in the right way, with the right pacing for what each of them actually needs to be repaired. You do not have to triage. You do not have to choose which part of your life gets healed first. The order is already known, and the order is wiser than the order you would have chosen. There is a particular thing you have not allowed yourself to ask for, because asking for it felt like too much. You buried that request a long time ago. You have prayed around it for years without praying for it directly. You did not want to be greedy. You did not want to ask for the impossible thing in case the asking ruined the smaller things you were still willing to hope for. You can lift that buried request now. You can take it out of the ground where you put it. It will not contaminate the rest of your prayers. The thing you have been afraid to ask for is the thing the blessing has been most carefully shaped around. You have been taught, in ways you did not always notice, that wanting too much is a kind of failure of character, that wanting itself is suspect, that the spiritually mature person trims their wanting down to the smallest acceptable size and accepts gratefully whatever fragment is given. There's a half-truth in that teaching, but the half that is true does not apply to the buried request. The buried request is not greed. The buried request is the place inside you where your specific aliveness is hiding. The blessing wants that place. It wants to find that place and meet you there. It cannot meet you in the diminished version of yourself that you have been performing, because you thought performance was humility. Humility is not the shrinking of your wanting. Humility is the honest acknowledgement that the wanting was placed inside you by something that knows what it is doing. There is no accident in your address. There is no accident in the specific version of your life that you woke up inside. The improbable people you have met along the way, the rooms you have entered by mistake that turned out to be the right rooms, the conversation that changed the trajectory of a year, the failure that redirected you toward the actual path, the loss that taught you what the gain would have hidden. All of these were authored. Authored is not the same as forced. You still chose. Your choices still mattered, but your choices unfolded inside a story that was being written with you, not despite you. The blessing that is gathering is the next page of that story, and the page is already written. You are turning toward it. The page is turning toward you. The collaboration between you and the authoring is older than your awareness of it. You have been collaborating since before you knew what collaboration meant. The instincts you trusted that turned out to be right. The people you walked away from when something inside you said walk. The offers you turned down that would have looked good on paper but felt wrong in your gut. All of those small no-saying movements were collaboration. The yes-saying movements too. The risk you took when there was no reasonable evidence the risk would pay. The kindness you offered to someone who could not pay it back. The forgiveness you extended before you knew whether it would be received well. Each of those was a co-authored sentence. The book is thicker than you thought. The book has a shape you can almost see now from this vantage point. You are not the same person who first asked. You can feel the difference. Some of the difference is sorrow. Some of it is sturdiness. Some of it is the strange humility that comes from having been wrong about timelines you were once certain about. The new person you are can hold what the old person could not. That is not a punishment for having been the old person. That is the dignity of having become someone larger through the difficult middle. The blessing arrives to who you are now. Receive it as the person you are now. Do not apologize for not being the version of yourself who first asked. That version did the asking. This version does the receiving. Both of them are honored. Listen for what comes next. Not in the form of an announcement, in the form of a settling. You will know it because something will stop hurting in a place that has been hurting for a long time. Not all the hurt at once. A specific hurt. A specific tightness loosening. A specific worry quieting. That is the first letter of the blessing. Read it as a letter. Read it as a sign that the rest is on its way. Do not require the entire alphabet to arrive in a single afternoon. Pay attention to what your dreams are doing. Not because every dream means something, but because your sleeping mind is sometimes the first place the new arrangement begins to register. The dreams may not be dramatic. They may simply be quieter than they have been, or strange in a way that is not threatening but is unfamiliar, or returning to a place you have not visited in years and finding the place softer than you remembered. The sleeping mind is closer to the floor of your life than the waking mind is. It hears the foundation moving before the rest of you does. If you wake up gentler, that is data. Trust it. Pay attention also to your body in the late afternoon, the hour when the energy of the day has begun to drop and the night has not yet arrived to tell you to rest. That hour reveals a great deal about what you are actually carrying. If you find yourself less heavy in that hour, lighter in your shoulders, less prone to the small irritations that used to tip you, that is also data. The body is a trustworthy witness to the slow movement of grace. It will know before your thinking knows. Your job is to read what your body is telling you and not override it with the older story about how you are doing. You will not have to convince anyone that this happened. The people who needed to see it will see it. The people who would not have believed you no matter what you said will not be your audience. The blessing does not need defenders, it only needs